NBA player props here on PrizePicks for Wednesday, April 19th. Before I get started, link is in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks. You can use promo code TUFF, 100% deposit match. Discord link is in the description, as well as Patreon link where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. Again, I'm not a gambling expert. This is not financial advice. Simply just plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to then make your own player prop decisions here. Again, let me know in the comments below at the end of the video how you guys feel about these two plays. But I got two plays here from the slate today. I like the slate overall. We got Lakers, Memphis, Miami, Milwaukee, Minnesota versus Denver. Just some injury notes, you guys. Giannis was questionable, then doubtful. Now he's questionable again. Milwaukee has really done this numerous times this season, so keep an eye on Giannis here tonight. I feel like he's going to play for some weird reason. Ja Morant is on the downside of or doubtful side of questionable here. Gobert is questionable. Jokic should play here, but keep an eye on these injury notes, you guys, as they're very, very important for these player props here. And these NBA teams have really been gatekeeping the injuries, so it's important to have those notifications on to see what's going on with these injury notes up until tip off, because it really has been like that. We won't know specifically about these injuries till later on in the day. Sorry, but I got two plays here that I like. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So the first one, Jaren Jackson Jr., I like his over 15.5 field goal attempts against the Lakers. We saw in game one, Jaren Jackson Jr. took 21 field goal attempts. He scored 31 points. And game log this season, including regular season into the playoffs, he's hit this in 4 of his last 5, and he's actually scored 30 plus points in 4 of his last 5 as well. So scoring has really turned up as of late. We can see here, Jaren Jackson Jr., 4 of his last 5, he scored 30. In game one, he had 21 points. If we take a look at Jaren Jackson Jr. in that game, game one, right, with Ja Morant off the floor, Ja Morant is, again, down on the doubtful side of questionable with a hand injury. He's going to be a game-time decision. I like this play if Ja Morant plays or not. But in this 15 minutes with Ja Morant off the floor, Jaren Jackson Jr., per 36 minutes, 24.1 field goal attempts per 36 minutes with Ja Morant off the floor. All right, if we take a look here, if we take a look at the last 30 days with Ja Morant off the floor, Jaren Jackson Jr. has been just shooting the ball a ton. He's becoming really the number one option on the offense. We can see here 20.2 field goal attempts per 36 minutes with Ja Morant off the floor. So if we see Ja Morant out tonight, this is a smash play in my opinion. We take a look at Jaren Jackson Jr.'s game log this season with Ja Morant at home. Decent hit rate if we just remove the at-home label here for this one. We take a look at Jaren Jackson Jr.'s game log this season without Ja Morant, right? This is hit in 4 of its last 5 as well. Even could be 5 of his last 6. Had 15 field goal attempts against Miami in only 28 minutes here. He played 37 minutes in game 1, expecting usual heavy dose, probably 35 plus minutes tonight if he can stay out of foul trouble in a must-win game for Memphis. So I just don't see a scenario where Jaren Jackson Jr., especially if Ja Morant's off the floor. I will still play this with Ja Morant playing, but if Ja Morant's off the floor, I don't see a scenario where Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't take 16 field goal attempts, considering he scored 30 plus in 4 of his last 5 and is coming off a game against the Lakers where he's took 21 field goal attempts in 37 minutes. Again, like I said, per 36 with Ja Morant off the floor is 20.2 over those last 30 days. But in that one game, per 36, 24.1 field goal attempts. The odds here as well, Vegas, pretty much has him for at least 20 points tonight, 21. He's minus 195 on Sugar House to go over 20.5 points, and then his line is pretty much at 22.5 on every single other book. Love Jaren Jackson Jr. over 15.5 field goal attempts tonight against the Lakers. The second play here is going to be Karl Anthony Towns over 20.5 points. So right off the bat, I do think this has a chance to bump up to 21 by tip-off. But let's get into this. So Karl Anthony Towns, before his last game where he scored in game 1, he scored 11 points against Denver. He hit this in 4 of his last 5 in 4 straight games. And we take a look at the hit rate for Karl Anthony Towns this season. When he plays 33 plus minutes, this has an extremely high hit rate. He's only missed this twice this season when he plays less than 33 minutes. Or when he plays more than 33 minutes, he's only missed this twice this season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 15 of 17 games this season when he plays 33 plus minutes, he has hit the over on this. We take a look at Karl Anthony Towns' game log this season, including playoffs just in general, right? Not regardless if he plays 33 minutes or not, just how he has been playing up until his horrendous game 1. This has a high hit rate as well. We take a look at this is when he came back from injury on March 22nd, where he missed a very long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of 8 games he hit the over on this. Since coming back from injury. So what I like about this one, though, I think we get a bounce back game from the Minnesota Timberwolves as a whole. It's an 8-point spread here. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns is going to play a ton of minutes, right? The Minnesota Timberwolves are very, very banged up in the front court. We know Jaden McDaniels out, Naz Reid is out. Karl Anthony Towns is projected to play 38 minutes tonight, right? if we take a look at Karl-Anthony Towns, like I said, when he plays 33 plus minutes and has an extremely high hit rate, but we take a look at that game log. In game 1, he took 15 field goal attempts and took 7 3-point attempts. So he took a little less than half of his field goal attempts came from 3, which is not going to really necessarily bode well for Karl-Anthony Towns to score a ton of points just shooting threes. I think there's definitely going to be a game plan switch here for the Minnesota Timberwolves, trying to get Towns more involved on the block. Also, I think being that first game in Denver with the altitude really affected Minnesota. They came out just completely no energy, lethargic, and now they've been in Denver for about like 6 days now, practicing in Denver. So it definitely should help their the wind in their lungs, really getting acclimated to that altitude, because it can definitely be a factor here. So I like Karl-Anthony Towns in that spot as well. I mean, we're taking a look at over the last 30 days since really Karl-Anthony Towns came back from injury. Per 36 minutes, he's averaging 23.8 points per game. And then the odds here is just terrific for us at 20.5. That's why I do think this has a chance to bump up to 21 flat possibly. Let's just take a look. I wanted to reload these odds to see if anything is bumped up. We take a look here. He's at 20.5 and 20.5 on BetMGM, minus 120 and minus 130 on both those books. He's at 21.5 on FanDuel and minus 119 to go over 21.5 points on Caesar. So odds on the over at 21.5. We get a 1-point discount here on PrizePicks at 20.5 here for Karl-Anthony Towns. For Minnesota to even be in a game, competitively, Karl-Anthony Towns has got to score 20 plus points, right? There's no scenario where he can't score 20 plus points and Minnesota expecting to win. So I definitely think there's going to be a game plan shift here for Towns in this matchup. These are the two plays here that I like for tonight. Jaren Jackson Jr. over 15.5 field goal attempts and Karl-Anthony Towns over 20.5 points. Again, hopefully we see some green today, you guys. It has been a weird, rough couple of days here for us on PrizePicks. We continue to stay positive here. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about these two. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.